The Epic Adventurers by Sean T. Young. Episode 2, The Tale of Sir Greybeard. In our last episode, a band of stalwart adventurers all met each other at the Rusty Dragon, a famous tavern for hiring groups for quests. The leader of the party, Hrothnar the Barbarian, was reunited with an old adventuring friend, Brother Stephen, now a high-ranking cleric in the Church of Elendar. They were joined by an exotic shaman from the far-distant lands of Barada Hatuk named Zambuku, as well as Arne Glenfingallen, noted sage, alchemist, artificer, and chronic hypochondriac. Also answering the summons to the group were two beautiful women, Shalina, the sword maiden from the kingdom of New Osland, and her ephemeral friend, the elven sorceress Wikia. Rounding out the party was the mysterious masked ranger Shadowwolf and a rowdy, ale-swilling dwarf named Froderick Grimguzzler. The group finally met their benefactor, an ancient knight named Sir Reginald Greybeard. Apparently, for reasons not yet fully explained, Sir Greybeard wishes to take the group on a dangerous quest, hoping to be killed in the process. But why would he want to do such a thing? Why would you want to do such a thing? Since the fall of the Empire, Caledon is a rather dangerous place. People are killed in dozens of ways every day. How hard is it to get killed?
Tell them about your junk. No, let me rephrase that. Tell them about your items, Sir Reginald.
Yes, well, I think that would be best. It started many, many years ago. I was once an adventurer like yourselves and did all the typical quests. Clearing dungeons, looting gold, slaying dragons, the usual stuff. Until one day I came across the ancient remains of a long-forgotten tomb. I descended a crumbling stair that led deep into a series of catacombs, many of which were collapsed and ravaged by both time and looters alike. Down an abandoned hallway lay the tomb of what I assumed was a hero. The nameless warrior had a large sarcophagus with a statue of him carved upon the lid. There were many frescoes on the walls showing his heroic deeds, and ending with him settling down and becoming a king, I assume. In the torchlight, I caught the glint of something very shiny in a small alcove. It turned out to be this resplendent suit of armor, which I have worn for over 2 centuries now.
I've never seen its equal. I'm not familiar with the style. It looks to be pre-Empire, but I can't place it.
Oh, by far older. It was forged by the Arcanosmiths of Kalvatar.
The Sunken Kingdom? Bah, Galbator is but a legend. Stuff of bedtime stories. I doubt it ever really existed.
Are the memories of your ancestors so short, friend dwarf? 10,000 years may seem impossibly long for our human friends here, but for we Fey races, it's only a dozen generations. Kalvatar was a real place. Both humans and elves lived there for millennia before it was destroyed.
Whoa. You're trying to tell me this suit of armor is 10,000 years old? And it's still that shiny and no spots of rust? That's impossible. Not from Mithril. I've seen Mithril swords and axes that old that still hold an edge. But for it being completely unblemished, why, it would have to be a powerful suit of magic in the order of
an artifact or a relic? Yes, it has referred to itself as those things many times before. Oh, and he says he's only 6,800 years old and not 10,000.
Your armor talks to you?
Well, actually, many artifacts take on a certain amount of intelligence and ego after so many thousands of years. The arcane magic seems to interact with the base materials used in the construction of said piece of equipment and...
Okay, so his armor talks. Let's not get off on a philosophical tangent on whether his armor's alive or not. Please, continue, Sir Reg.
Why, thank you, Hrothnar. I realized the armor was unique, and originally it did not speak to me as such. I did have an overwhelming sense of not wanting to adventure any longer, and decided to become one of the Imperial Guard. This, I realized years later, was the armor compelling me to do so, to no longer roam. I rose to the ranks of the Guard quickly and became a captain. At about that time, the Schism War broke out. You should know about that, Brother Stephen. Of course, that's when the Reformed Church broke away from the Church of Elendar. Indeed, all of the Imperial forces were called into service, including the Imperial Guard. Our crusade was to destroy any castles or temples of the Reformed Church, and to recover any relics that had been stolen from the main church. It was during a raid in the Sultanate of Dajul that I came across this. By the grace of our Lord, that's the blessed shield of St. Calgrin. However did you come by it? You know of this shield? Well, that is one of the church's most holy relics, but it's been missing for centuries. I recognize it from several different depictions of it on stained glass windows and tapestries. If it is the real relic, there should be a blood stain on the inside of the shield on the upper right corner. Yes, I'd often wondered about where that blood stain came from. Well, there's a detailed story about that in the Codex Illuminari, but that is for another time, I suppose. Why was the shield never returned to the church? Was that not your sworn duty? Why not, indeed? Now, that brings me closer to my point, ladies and gentlemen. Apparently, the power of both the armor and the shield worked to amplify each other, binding them both to me. It is both a blessing and a curse. Both artifacts became more powerful and intelligent and began to actually speak to me from time to time, offering guidance or advice. However, if I try to give them away, or even if someone tries to take them, the items always show back up. It is physically impossible for me to lose any of the three. Magic is funny like that.
3? You have a third artifact?
True magical artifacts number perhaps only the dozens worldwide, and you possess 3 of them? Well, the statistical chance of that is, astronomical.
Yes, perhaps very rare, but true. Which now brings me to the item that I both fear and respect the most. I will show it to you so that you know what it is, but I dare not unsheath it here, lest it slays one of you or some innocent patron here. This sword, whose name I dare not even speak here, is perhaps one of the most evil and malevolent items ever to exist. The sword brings only chaos, terror, and destruction everywhere it goes. It is not even of this world. It was forged millennia ago in the deepest forges of the lowest planes of the abyss. Among the 3, this is the artifact that I would see destroyed, if such a thing is even possible.
And I assume that the power of the demonic blade amplified the power of the other 2 in itself, being in the presence of so much magical power.
Sadly, yes. Exponentially so, it would seem. All 3 of them together have granted me a certain amount of immortality, or at least greatly extended life. And all 3 of them are constantly babbling. Oh, and they bicker with each other incessantly. The sword wants me to kill everything in sight, the shield wants me to protect everyone, and the armor tells me to do nothing as it doesn't want to get any dings or scratches. It's a wonder I get any sleep at all.
Whoa, that's some pretty tough luck, Sir Reginald. Well, no wonder you always look so tired. I didn't realize the full extent of your situation. So, you want to die just because you're tired of your artifacts arguing with each other?
It's not a matter of me wanting to die, it is more than that. Although I am aging at a much slower rate, I can feel not only my physical strength starting to fail, but my willpower as well. The will of the artifacts is so strong that often it is they who dictate my course of action. So before I become a complete slave to them and someday possibly become undead as a wraith or a death knight or worse, I've decided to end things on my terms and not theirs. Aren't you afraid of what will happen to the artifacts once you've passed on? Oh, I am terrified of what is to become of them. I would not wish this fate upon another soul, gods no. At best, I would see the armor placed somewhere safe or given to someone who would like to have a nice decoration for their castle. The shield, of course, should be returned to the church, and, yes, I agree. Well, we'll see about that, shan't we? No, I'm sorry, St. Calgrin was chiming in again. And the sword I want to... No, that will not happen, not again. No, Damn you! I will see you melted down yet.
Are you okay, Reg?
Shall I retrieve your sword for you, sir?
No, do not touch the foul thing. I dare not even imagine what would become of one so pure of heart as you were to even touch it.
I don't know about the pure of heart thing.
My dear, I've been around a long, long time, and I know a good person when I see one. being a bit naughty now and then doesn't change that. Stand away from the sword. It will come to me. All I need to do is raise my hand to it. As I said before, and demonstrated here, my artifacts will not be taken from me, nor can I lose them.
So, what do we do? Can't we just kill you and spread the artifacts to the winds or something?
When I said I was immortal, it's not just long life. I am impervious to a great many maladies and afflictions.
What about getting killed in good old-fashioned combat?
With the shield and the armor protecting me and the sword able to slay anything that I fight? Alas, that scenario has played out far too many times over the centuries, and I would not want to repeat it with such a fine warrior as yourself.
What if all of us fought you?
Then there I would stand on the field of battle, victorious with your 8 corpses at my feet. I'm not boasting, I'm just recalling the dozens of fights that always sadly ended up in such a manner. I have decimated entire garrisons and villages, something I do not wish to repeat.
What if you fling yourself into a volcano? You sink in lava and burn up.
Already tried and failed, twice as a matter of fact. I am immune to fire and heat, and the armor allows me to walk on the lava.
The falling?
No, the armor has a slow fall spell built into it.
Drowning, perhaps?
I can breathe underwater.
What about getting crushed?
Creative. But no. During the war, my unit was laying siege to a castle. The tower collapsed and landed on me, and I walked out of the rubble unscathed.
What about poison?
Immune.
Magic or spells?
Mostly immune. Some things will slow me down a bit, but as a general rule, magic is ineffective.
How about being turned to stone? That might destroy the artifacts as well.
I am immune to the gaze of a Medusa or basilisk. Oh, and the breath of a Gorgon or Catoblepus won't work either.
But what about a dragon? An ancient one, a great worm. Dragons are powerful in magic, and their breath is often used to destroy magic items.
Sadly, I have slain a dozen or so of those noble creatures of various types over the centuries. I simply haven't the heart to destroy another one, not after Dread Thraximus.
You slew Dread Thraximus, the terror of the Jaggerock Mountains? I find that hard to believe.
Yes, one of the many things I am not particularly proud of. True, Dread Thraximus slew many a foolish knight and maiden, and I'm sure dwarf, in his time, but he was a magnificent, beautiful creature. But despite his reputation, he was actually a kind and honorable being. I blame this damnable sword for his destruction.
My people heard rumors he'd been killed or died, but I never considered it seriously. Well, that would explain his absence these last few decades.
Oh, I know. What if you were to fall into a pit with razor-sharp wires across it halfway down, and then fall into a series of gnashing saw blades and the grinding gears all submerged in the pool of corrosive acid at the bottom?
What the hell's kind of a sick bastard are you?
Bartholomew the Uncertain asked me to design a few traps for one of his dungeons as a security system. Too bad he forgot to disarm the system when he was returning home one night.
Who comes up with that kind of sadistic crap?
Well, I'm a genius.
Well, damn it all, Sir Reg. How are we supposed to get you killed then? Now, what say you, Mr. Genius?
No, me? Oh, of course. Actually, I think there is a way. I'm not sure it would work. Please, elucidate. Well, simply put, why don't we just ask the artifacts?
Okay, so how does that work? Sir Reginald said so he's just a constant catfight in his head.
I have a device of my own brilliant design, of course, called the Psychic Differentiator. I created it to help with a case of demonic possession, and it may be able to work for us in a similar fashion. The poor girl had 17 different demons possessing her. Quite fascinating, really. It seems that
Yeah, get on with it.
Yes, well, I digress. So anyway, we have Sir Greybeard wear the specialized circlet that I calibrate the receiver unit that we could talk to Sir Greybeard or the other 3 intelligences individually.
All right, let's give it a whirl. You don't happen to have this marvelous invention with you, do you?
Well, the matter of speaking, yes. Well, my skeleton key could give me access to my laboratory. I just need access to a door.
What kind of door do you need?
Well, anything really, as long as it's a door that I can open and close.
All right then. Hey, Bruce, come here for a second. What can I do for you, sir? What's this door lead to? It's a storeroom. What do you ask? You mind if we borrow it for some hocus pocus? What, the storeroom?
No, just the door.
The door? I don't quite follow you, sir.
Well, allow me to demonstrate. First, I open the door like so, and you see the storeroom. Then I close the door and take my skeleton key device like so, and touch it to the handle of said door. And upon reopening the door, my laboratory can be seen on the other side thusly.
Well, by my beard, ain't magic great?
I'll be right back. I just need to find the device. Do not let the door close behind me, otherwise I can't get back in here. My tower is right here in Starland, but it would take me at least an hour or so to rejoin you if I had to ride or walk back here to the tavern.
Well, allow me to hold the door for you then, good sir.
Show off. It's just a teleport spell.
Alright, it's got to be here somewhere. No, that's not it. No, this is not it. Here, the second differentiator. Well, here it is. Thank you, innkeeper.
Oh, my pleasure, sir. Well, look at that. The original storeroom is back. No worse for wear. Anything else I can get for anyone? Nah, I think we're all good here, Bruce, thanks. Oh, my pleasure. Cross now, everyone. I'll just be going then.
Yeah, very well then, Sir Greybeard. If you would be so kind as to place the circlet on your head.
I assume I will be unconscious for this procedure?
Yes, once I turn on the receiver here, you will fall into a hypnotized state so that we may filter out the other voices and talk to just you or one of the other artifacts. Now then, I'll just activate the receiver and then I can calibrate the device. Might as well just take a few moments for the calibration.
Is this thing on? Oh, blessed silence. It seems to have worked. Can you hear me? Yes, we can hear you, Sir Reg. Hey, that's fantastic. It worked.
Well, of course it worked. It is one of my inventions, after all. As you can see here on the panel, there are 4 entities. Sir Greybeard is listed here first. After each name is a readout of the alignment of the personality in question. You can see here our friend Sir Reginald has shown us a neutral good.
Whee! Boo! 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 Echo!
Well, he seems to be having fun. But shouldn't we be talking to the artifacts?
Well, of course. Just let me try to select one of the others here.
The blood of the fallen shall make the master whole again.
Is this the sword of Sir Greybeard?
I am a Shandrak Mensur, drinker of blood, bane of Daza, breaker of worlds, the destroyer of men's souls. What infidel dares to speak directly to me?
Well, I am sorry, wrong frequency.
Don't we need to talk to him? The sword?
Perhaps, but it is rarely a good idea to give your name freely to a demonic presence. I have a theory, however. If you look at the linomometer here, it shows the sword as being chaotic evil, the shield is lawful good, no surprise there, and the armor is being neutral.
I see, so in effect the 3 balance each other out, so to speak, so no one influence gains an upper hand.
Precisely. So if one of these items is removed, it could cause him to become unbalanced and, perhaps do something very unpredictable or destructive.
But unless we can get rid of at least one, he will still be too powerful. I think if we can remove the artifacts in the correct order, then, maybe we can whittle them down a little bit. But isn't this all just a little bit academic? I mean, Sir Red said himself none of his items can ever leave him.
Unless, of course, the item was to choose a new master.
I thought he said that's what he did not want to happen.
I have a feeling this is not going to be an easy task, otherwise he'd have done this decades ago. Well, we've got to either swap out an item with someone else, which may or may not be that bad of a thing, or destroy it. As long as no one has more than one of these goodies, they should be fine. That sword's going to be a problem, though.
I think perhaps the best choice for the item to lose first would be the armor. Yes, I agree. The loss of the neutral intelligence should be all right. The good and evil forces should still be able to balance themselves out. However, his mood swings are likely to become more obvious in nature.
Plus, it sounds like a lot of his vulnerabilities come from the armor. Then we can kill him easier. That didn't sound right.
Yes, well, let's tune in and see what the armor wants then.
Boo! Echo! Oh, so nice to be alone at last.
I hate to interrupt your apparent bliss, but we're going to attempt to ask your armor a few questions.
Sure, whatever. Nice guy, the armor. A bit, well, you'll see.
Well, is this the armor of Sir Greybeard?
Oh my goodness, who is this?
I am Artiglood Fingallan, a noted sage, alchemist, and artificer. And what might your name be, fair suit of armor?
I am simply known as the Armor of Resplendence. And ain't that the truth, honey?
Yes, well, that does seem to be the case.
Oh, it's been so long since I've had anyone else to talk to. Gods under the oceans, I'm so tired of listening to those three prattle on. They're like a bunch of old hands.
So, what you're saying then is you wouldn't mind getting away from them?
Oh, who are you? You sound like a big strapping savage.
Oh, sorry. Name's Rothnard. Nice to meet you, Suit.
You can call me anything you like, honey, but my friends call me Armor. So what exactly do you mean by getting away from them?
Well, to be honest, Sir Reginald is getting a bit old and tired. He wants to split the three of you up, take a bit of a rest from the world.
Really? Well, tell me something I don't know. He's always on the move, questing around and fighting things. I'd just like to have someone show me off to people. You know, have someone who's proud of me, who keeps me all nice and polished and shiny and fabulous.
Yeah, someone who'd treasure you for the treasure you are. Maybe not even wear you. Keep you in a castle or a museum and show you off or something like that.
Oh, Gods Under the Ocean, a museum would be fantastic. Do you know someone who'd treat me like that? Because I would just love to change over to someone like that and leave old Sir Greybutt and the other two artifacts. They have absolutely no fashion sense.
So, a museum piece sounds nice and safe. Where are we going to find someone who'd only want a suit of armor just to show it off? What do you think, Arnie?
Well, I suppose I could research this a little bit further. Maybe put an advertisement on the bulletin board at the Sages Guild.
That will not be necessary. I know of the perfect man. Who is this man that Shadow Wolf is referring to? Does this man really like talking armor that much? And when are they going to ask for the bill and get this quest started already? Tune in again next time for these answers and more in the next chapter of The Epic Adventurers. In this episode, the parts of all male characters were played by Sean T. Young. Shalina was played by Sherry Young, and Wakia was played by Willow Young. The music tracks Take a Chance, Ritual, Call to Adventure, Master of the Feast, and Greta Sting were from Kevin MacLeod at Incompetech.com, with other music from Peter Keister at https://soundcloud.com/Keister. Various other sound effects were from www.freesound.org. Follow the Epic Adventurers on Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, and SoundCloud.